Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. Imperial March plays in the background. Okay, just imagine the Imperial March is being played, because we're talking the one and only Darth Vader, and what makes a good villain. In other news, Joel has a real bad hangover. It's our 1 year anniversary of the podcast, the SciFi Pubcast. Correlation or causation? You decide. The hair of the dog it is. Grab something dark for this one. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. And it's Joel. I'm in the bar, and I'm looking around, and who do I see? I see Carrie and Derek. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm just, hanging out in the relative cool of my apartment while it stays relatively cool.
Come on. So relatively cool, is that, 110 degrees Fahrenheit where you're living? What?
No, it's not that hot.
Okay.
No, it's only supposed to be maybe 90 today.
That's nothing. And and then there's Derek. Derek, how you doing?
Now that you are here, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
What
Dear
the
God.
hell?
This is not going to help my hangover because I'm really hungover right now.
I'm sorry, that was evil of me.
Yeah, we're recording on a Saturday afternoon, and I had too much to drink last night. But I was drinking for a very good reason.
Forget?
No, the reason why I was drinking is because this month, literally this week, is our 1 year anniversary of the SciFi Pubcast.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 10.
Yeah.
Mazel tov.
We've actually lasted a whole year. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
That's great. What do I get?
Yeah, nothing. And we haven't been sued once. Perfect.
We've settled out of court every time.
So this is great. And so please raise your glasses because I'm just pouring myself our dark rum and coke to try to beat the hair of the dog. And lift your glasses up and celebrate the SciFi Pubcast. Yay!
Prost.
Clink.
Right, so let's move on. Okay, so we're going to talk about Darth Vader, a.k.a. Anakin Skywalker. If you haven't seen Star Wars, or you've been, in a cage somewhere for the last 40-odd years, we are going to be talking spoilers, so just something to be aware of. Plus, I'm really hungover, so I think Derek and Carrie is going to be doing most of the talking today. Thanks, guys.
Uh-oh.
Everybody whisper.
Great. Now, why are we talking about Darth Vader? Well, a few days ago, I'm at work. I'm trying to come up with a topic for the show, and I've been really busy at work, and of course, I'm really busy in my personal life, which is good. But doesn't mean it means that I don't have enough, as much time as I would like to come up with topic ideas and research. And I was talking to a colleague of mine who's a young lawyer. She's 29 years old, and of course, we talked about Star Wars, and she made the comment to me that, hey, Darth Vader. Oh, that's Darth Vader. Yeah, he's not very scary. Now
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm in my 40s. I remember seeing the original, like the Star Wars before it was known as The New Hope, back in the 70s and late 70s. And it just, wow. That just blew my mind. Because sometimes you go through life and you think that people, all people think alike, and it's not. Because people have different experiences. People they're from different ages and all that. Derek, do you think Darth Vader is scary?
Not really, because I was born in 81, so I grew up with the trilogy already completed. I have no memory of seeing the first two movies without having also seen Jedi, which ends with him being a pathetic old broken man who dies. So I never found Vader to be scary or intimidating or cool. He was just an old man in an iron lung who moved very slowly and only ever fought an even older man and a young kid who could barely hold a lightsaber.
You're so cynical, Derek. You really are.
Wow.
Okay, see, my experience, and this is a true story because all my stories are true.
course they are.
Of course. Okay, guys, I'm really hungover. So the New Hope came out in what, 77?
77.
Yeah.
Okay, good. My brain is slowly coming back to life. So probably about 1980-ish, I remember going to the local shopping mall in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, just down from Brock University with my mom, and to meet Darth Vader, which of course was David Proulx. And so he was doing some sort of tour around, basically doing the Star Wars gig. And I remember this clearly. Here I am. I might have been, 6, 7 years old. And I shook Dave Proulx's hand. And of course, he's in the Darth Vader costume. And I remember him squeezing my hand. Not really, really tight to hurt me, but enough to be very, very scary and very mean. And to a kid, it's like, wow. Like, now, people don't even think Darth Vader's scary. Derek, you don't even think Darth Vader's scary. You think he's a pathetic old man? My God. No, he's like the ultimate villain on so many different levels.
Well, the other thing is that he was just a pawn of the Emperor too. Like he had no agency on his own. He was just a puppet, an enforcer. But again, this is the viewpoint of someone who saw the entire trilogy, who never saw just the first two.
Yeah.
Well, okay. No, see, the thing is, it's when Vader decides to get involved, that's kind of when shit gets real. In Star Wars, it's kind of like Thanos in Infinity War. When Thanos finally gets involved in the MCU, that's when the shit is really getting real. That's when things are really starting to hit the fan. I do kind of get the argument that Vader isn't that scary, but hear me out. So my first memory of watching Star Wars is when I was 3 years old, and as soon as watching New Hope, and as soon as Vader walked on the screen, I was sold. Like, okay, this guy is cool. And he killed one guy, he force choked another guy, and he got in a ship and he flew and killed a bunch of people. That didn't seem really, really scary. But there is a reason why it took me so long to like Empire Strikes Back, because when you are 3 years old and suddenly Vader is kicking the crap out of everyone in the movie that you like, that is scary. Suddenly Vader is actually getting down and getting his hands dirty and torturing people and killing people and stuff. That's when the shit gets real. And that's why it took me so long to actually like Empire Strikes Back, because it took me a long time to not be scared of Empire Vader.
Yeah, Empire Vader was he was quite an unpleasant fellow. It's like so scary, like he's so powerful. So what do you do in the face of that? And you see,
Exactly.
you see elements of that at the end of Rogue One, of course, when they Lucasfilm really dialed it up just to make the point. It's horrific, like just pure horror. And this man is motivated. Darth Vader is one motivated person.
Exactly. Again, the end of Rogue One, Darth Vader himself is getting involved in the fight. That means that shit's going down, and if you are getting out of there alive, you are damn lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that is the first time that I've seen Empire Vader since Empire Strikes Back.
He also had those savage puns to make fun of people too.
I wasn't a big fan of the savage puns, but okay.
Wait. Yeah, right. Sorry, we jumped in. Before, let's make sure our business is actually operating. I know I'm really hungover. Derek, how's the kitchen do?
It's great.
Okay,
Today's special is Devil's Food Cake. It's chocolate-covered dirt with worms in it because, the devil lives in hell, which is under the ground. So this is the cake that I presume he would eat.
That's great. Now that's talking about...
That sounds more like a mud pie, but okay.
Well, yeah, but it's got the worms in it for the protein.
Yeah. I think that would actually scare Darth Vader if you actually served that on him. Mm-hmm. Yes. But going back to Darth Vader, if you look at him, especially from a child point of view, it's like, was he a robot? What is he human? Is there more than one of them?
Yes.
It's like he's armored up. Like, what does he look like under the armor? And we get glimpses at, during Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I've read that the reason we have the meditation chamber iron lung scene at the beginning of Empire is to prove to the audience that he is a person and not a robot, because apparently audiences were not clear what he was based on the first film. And then the other reason, and then in Return of the Jedi, Lucas had Yoda flat out state that Vader is his father, because he spoke with psychologists and stuff, and they said that children would not believe that Vader was telling the truth since he was a villain, so they had to have a good character actually confirm what Vader said at the end of Empire.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's no small thing.
Nope.
Well,
But also something like that, you do kind of need a second opinion if you can find one, and getting a second opinion from Yoda is kind of if you're getting confirmation from Yoda, then things are definitely but I lost my train of thought. Sorry. And then he got a third opinion from Obi-Wan's ghost. So at that point, yeah, it goes back. It kind of goes back to the line from Hook. Why would I lie? The truth is far too much fun.
That's a great line, actually. But you compare it like Hook. What's see, I'm really brain dead right now. What's the villain from Peter Pan? Was it
Captain Hook?
Captain Hook. Yeah, Captain. I was thinking like Captain something. Right?
I know. I made it too easy for you. Have a drink or something.
I am actually. Yes. So there's that. And how does other villains compare to Darth Vader? Because if you look at the American Film Institute's top 50 villains of all time, and it's a dated list because they compiled that in 2003, okay, for the 100th anniversary of the American Film Institute, or something along those lines. Darth Vader is number 3 on the list. Number 1 is Hannibal Lecter, and number 2 is Norman Bates. So I wonder now, if you ask someone who's a teenager who was Hannibal Lecter or Norman Bates, would they actually get the reference?
I doubt no. Norman Bates, but probably Lecter.
Yeah, they've had the Hannibal TV show that no kid should be watching. Right.
Well, there was also the Bates Motel TV show, which was surprisingly
That's
good.
True.
Yeah.
Compared to Darth Vader, wow.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars.
Well, to be fair, Darth Vader didn't eat anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't see a lot of kids dressing as Lecter or Norman Bates for Halloween either.
That's true.
There we go. Yes, it's all about merchandising and costuming. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's why the real money from the movie is made.
Yeah, it's there's not an equivalent of a Hannibal Lecter 501st outfit out there. Okay. The other thing about Vader is the whole psychology of it, and Derek kind of touched on it, but with the whole father thing going on. Vader, father. So it's a play on German, and it's obvious.
I think Vader is Dutch for father.
It's German.
German.
Vater is German.
Yeah, Dutch. It might be the same in Dutch because Dutch and German is very close.
It's very very similar.
Yeah. So it's the whole psychology, because who is not scared of their father, especially if you're a child? It's kind of like, especially from a child's perspective. Oh, wait a second. It's stern. It's someone who's in an authority position. He does what he wants. People listen to him. Oh, by the way, he's wearing this black armor, and he talks and breathes really heavy like this. Yeah, that's scary.
I should point out that when Lucas made the original movie, he had no clue that Vader was his father. He decided that in between movies. Yeah. So the name is just a coincidence.
Yeah. But it does work.
Yep,
it does.
And just in comparison, like I've been whacking my head over this. What are some other major villains out there that's so iconic? I can think like the Joker from Batman. Yeah, even Star Wars. Yeah, you have the Emperor, you have Tarkin, but these people think. They're thinkers. Darth Vader's not a thinker. Darth Vader just gets the job done.
No, I mean, he does think a little. He is smarter. He is smarter than the average bear, but he is. But even if you're going back to the prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars, you know, Anakin, yeah, he thinks about stuff, but he doesn't want to wait around and wait. He doesn't want to wait for the opportune moment. He just wants to go in and get things done. He's very direct that way.
Yeah, because the dark side of the Force is all about emotions.
Right.
So if you think, you're actually taken away from the emotional side. Whereas it's all about hatred and power. At least that's what
Right.
Yeah. But I can see
Maybe.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that Emperor Palpatine is a more interesting villain than Vader is, which I guess is an unpopular opinion, but I'm always interested in what I consider to be the ultimate evil, not the henchman or the morally conflicted villain or the person who has the character arc, but the person who's kind of the ultimate embodiment of evil, who has no doubt or questioning himself, or another word I'm blanking on at the moment. But he's very powerful. He's got this master plan. He's seemingly invincible. He manipulates everyone around him. I mean, look at Palpatine. He, as a single man acting on his own, took over the entire galaxy, trillions of people. He took over the Galactic Republic. He wiped out thousands of Jedi Knights, including Yoda, who was standing in his office. And he did all that all by himself, which is a very impressive feat. I find that much more interesting than, you know, oh, I was an angsty teenager and I was manipulated into someone and then I got dunked in lava and now I'm evil.
You're saying that Anakin Skywalker is like a goth kid?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, Kylo Ren is the ultimate goth kid, but
True.
Yeah.
But he's not much of a villain.
As a former quasi-goth kid, I'm slightly offended by this.
All right, I'm pouring myself some more rum. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I'm just thinking of other villains in pop culture. Thanos, he's a big mean guy, but he's also motivated, but he's more of a thinker, right? And yes, he turns on power, but he uses power for an objective.
Not very good objective, but yeah.
Lex Luthor.
It keeps him on the move.
Yeah, people like Lex Luthor. Again, it's cerebral. It's thinkers. It's very much in the line of the Emperor plotting and strategizing and manipulating.
Manipulating.
Thank you. So, whereas I don't think Darth Vader actually manipulates people. He just kills people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that Thanos turned out to be very well done in Infinity War. I was a little concerned about having a big purple CGI dude as the ultimate villain, but they really knocked it out of the park with that one. He had a really good character, and again, he's another good example of an all-powerful villain who doesn't really have doubt, or he doesn't really have a character arc per se. He just is, you know, he knows what he's doing. He is supremely confident. He does what has to be done. He's successful in his goals. I don't know. I find that interesting.
And Thanos thinks that he's doing the right thing. I think on some level Vader thinks that he's doing the right thing.
Oh yes, that's another point. I like villains who aren't just like moo-hoo-hoo-ha, I want to kill people, but they actually believe that they're doing something for a legitimate purpose. I mean, like Thanos, he wants to save the galaxy from overpopulation. Emperor Palpatine, depending on which interpretation you go with, if you go with the old EU, he basically, you know, decided that people were too weak to rule themselves, so he had to do it. And also in the novel Outbound Flight, he knew that the Yuzhang Vong invasion was coming in the future and that he had to unite the galaxy and militarize it in order to survive the threat. So, see, to me, that's a cool character motivation. He does all these horrible, evil, unforgivable things, but he's actually doing it to save the galaxy from another threat. See, that's what makes a cool villain. He has a legitimate purpose. The things that he does are reprehensible, but there actually is a legitimate reason. He just isn't, you know, wanting to conquer all life or kill everyone or something like that. That's what's boring.
Mm. Well, what about like the person that shall not be named from the Harry Potter series? How does that fit in Derek's?
Voldy?
Yeah, Voldy.
Tommy Boy.
But
I thought Voldemort was another really good villain. Again, someone who has no doubt, who's supremely confident and successful. I'm trying to think if he had a noble goal, even in his own mind. Well, I mean, I guess if he wanted to, I don't know, did he want to defend the wizarding world from mudbloods and humans? I haven't read those books in so long now.
Yeah, I think there's
I'm
some
trying to remember
sort of
if he had a noble goal in his own
there's some sort
mind
of
or not.
the whole race theory thing.
He's basically a magician supremacist.
Yeah. But I mean, like, at least he wasn't just, I want to kill everybody or something like that. He actually had a goal in mind.
Yeah.
And he was a terrifying villain.
Yes.
Yes, he is. You can't even say his name because he's so scary.
I always remember that scene. I believe it's from the opening of Book 7, where they show the dinner with all the Death Eaters, and it just shows how everyone there is just terrified of him and terrified of saying the wrong thing. The threat coming from him was so palpable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's known at that point that Voldemort is not someone you want to mess with.
Yes. Well, there's also other kind of witches. There's the Wicked Witch of the West. Wizard of Oz.
Elphaba was misunderstood.
She was mistreated at Wizarding College.
She wasn't mistreated. No, she wasn't mistreated. She had a mind of her own, and she knew what the wizard was doing was bullshit.
Yeah, but it doesn't want to.
I've read the entire Wicked Years series by now. What the wizard was doing was bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a whole series. I know
there's
the musical play, which I listened to the soundtrack of once. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah, that is loosely based on the first book. There are 3 others.
Well, if the Wicked Witch of the West shows up at my front door, it's like, oh, okay, hi, how you doing? If Darth Vader shows up at my front door, I'm going to be out the back door as fast as possible. So it's like like Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. If he decides to show up and drop by for a drink, Then again, if like Lucifer shows up in our bar and wants his standard cocktail, yeah, we're going to serve him. But
now, which Lucifer are we talking about?
If Lucifer shows up in the form, if Lucifer shows up in the form of Tom Ellis, I am serving him whatever he wants.
Absolutely, and I like that series. I only saw the first season. I have to get on that. So
yeah, especially since they just renewed for season 3. Yeah, they just renewed it on Netflix. So yay.
Speaking of Sauron, do you guys think that he was an interesting villain or not? Because I do think it definitely suffers from never directly seeing him.
He's the ominous. He's kind of like the Emperor in that he's like the ominous presence that's always there. You never in the original trilogy for Star Wars, the Emperor was always this big looming threat. You never really got to see him very much until the end of Jedi. Until Jedi. Sauron is kind of the same thing. He's like not directly involved. He sends out all of his minions to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. And yeah, he'll act through people like the mouth of Sauron, but he doesn't really get directly involved. He doesn't think he needs to get directly involved. I think the Emperor is kind of the same thing. It's like if the Emperor doesn't feel like he needs to get directly involved in anything, that's what he has Vader for.
Yeah, see, I love Lord of the Rings, but I do think it suffers in the villain department. Just if you never see your villain, if you never have him in a scene with dialogue, I don't know. I think it hurts the story. A good story needs a strong villain. That's why my favorite parts of Lord of the Rings are the brief moments where we get cool villains like the Witch King and the Mouth of Sauron and Saruman. But unfortunately, there's never a strong central villain who actually appears and has dialogue on screen.
Well, they're trying to prevent the strong villain from the main villain from, reconstituting himself.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good threat in and of itself.
Yeah, I think it's scary the stuff that you don't know about a person, like with Sauron. You don't know his level of power or engagement because it's just not said, and that actually makes that power more scary. It's the fear of the unknown,
Right.
because you can't plan for that, you can't strategize against that, and it comes out of left field, kind of like what happens in my life half the time. And well, you look at that again. Look at how iconic Darth Vader is. Now compare him to other. Let's go into the horror genre. We're talking about old movies. Friday the 13th with Jason, or Halloween with was it Mike Myers?
Michael Myers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or Freddy Krueger.
I've only actually seen the original Friday the 13th, and by the time I saw it, it was very much a comedy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've never been into horror movies.
Yeah. Well, then let's talk about Dracula.
Okay.
It's funny because all the stuff, right? Horror, especially a certain genre of horror, is all about sexual guilt in your teenage years, and it's all about that. So you have these monsters, and they're monsters like Dracula. There's some sexuality going on there. You have Freddy Krueger, who's a child molester in the movies. So you have all this real world stuff that kind of really twists things on their heads, and that's scary. But it's not iconic. Well, Dracula is. Freddy Krueger is. But compared to Darth Vader, my God, it's just a symbol alone.
Yeah, and to be fair, Dracula isn't always the villain of the story, so that's not always a good comparison.
Right. Yeah, true.
It's kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West. She's not always the villain of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like between Freddy and Michael and Jason, I definitely think Freddy is the best villain because he actually has dialogue and, character. The other two are just silent people chasing after you slowly.
And to be fair, the original Friday the 13th, Jason wasn't even really the villain. It was his mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't mess with their moms, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Then of course,
I think a villain who's actually present in the story, a guy in a room with dialogue, that's always going to be best versus some amorphous force.
Right.
Yeah, well, I see that because you need to see the person in order to project your fears onto the person. So if Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up as the Terminator, that's pretty scary.
I'm running away.
Right. If Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman in Die Hard, shows up, well, you're probably going to have a beer with the person.
Maybe.
Oh, well. So, villains. What makes a good villain? It has to be someone we can actually focus our fears towards. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, someone you can legitimately be afraid of, or someone you can almost find yourself agreed with if it wasn't for the fact that what they were talking about was completely bent.
Yeah, like who's
like Thanos? Okay, yeah, the universe is overpopulated. His methods of dealing with the problem, not the best.
Yeah, it's like was a warmonger in Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Very sympathetic, but ultimately he's a bad guy. He's a baddie because he's taken a position that is not defendable.
Yeah, I think a good villain needs to have
a Killmonger,
understandable motivation and has to have successes. Because if the villain just gets defeated every time, then he's boring. Like Cobra Commander, not the greatest villain of all time.
Agreed. Yeah.
I agree.
Skeletor, not the greatest villain of all time.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
The villain actually has to accomplish anything. I mean, in a good story, the hero is pretty much losing all the way up until the third act.
Right.
Interesting.
I think that was what I liked about when they rebooted Thundercats a decade or so ago. Mumra actually won like maybe a quarter of the time, and that made him more compelling as a villain than the original Thundercats series.
Yeah,
I have very vague memories of that cartoon. I know I had
I
a
was
Thundercat
so
sleeping bag as a little kid.
I was so annoyed when they canceled the reboot.
You know, they are bringing it back as like a kid
I
Teen
know,
Titan version
I
thing.
know.
Yeah.
I applaud the effort of, if it gets kids into Thundercats, great, but that just the art alone makes me sad for what they had, because they had a really good thing going with the last reboot and it got canceled.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. So I said before that I'm interested in, the ultimate evil type, the Emperor Palpatines, the Voldemorts. So do you guys prefer someone like that, or do you prefer a morally conflicted villain who has, like a character arc, a rise and a fall, that sort of thing? What do you prefer?
I think it depends on the story.
Yeah, I'm all about like the Tarkins of the world, the thought process, the thinkers, and because at a certain level I can relate to them. I still don't agree with them, but I can relate to them.
I mean, like, I would say that Tarkin is in the ultimate evil vein in that he has no doubt, he has no character arc, he's just, ruthless and knowledgeable and efficient.
Yeah.
Right. He has this efficiency that he knows exactly what he needs to do and what he needs to accomplish, and he is going to walk all over anyone who gets in his way. And
So,
plus, his ruling through fear is interesting. Well, go ahead.
So you find that more appealing than like the Anakin Skywalker descending into darkness or the Kylo Ren fighting his light side sort of thing?
Not necessarily. I like both, and I as far as Palpatine is concerned, the novelization for Revenge of the Sith, that is what opened my eyes to exactly how much of a master manipulator he was, because especially when you're reading it, everything Palpatine says when he's in the room sounds completely reasonable until he leaves the room. There, you're going, wait, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah, the prequel movies really made Palpatine probably my favorite villain of all time because in the original trilogy, yeah, he was cool in his brief appearance. He was very, demonic and evil with that great voice. But the prequel movies showed how he so brilliantly manipulated everyone. And I was like, wow, this is the greatest evil master plan of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, what villain in all of fiction had a better and more successful master plan than Emperor Palpatine?
Yeah, and he shows up and he literally destroys other villains on a whim. Take Maul,
Right.
In the Clone Wars. Amazing. He just shows up. Okay, Maul, you're done.
Oh, yeah, that's like my favorite moment of the Clone Wars series when Sidious shows up and takes out Savage, and Maul at the same time. Woo, that was great.
That was fun, yeah.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts on Darth Vader and being a villain?
Oh, speaking of evil master plans, I just thought of Ozymandias from Watchmen. That's another wonderful villain because, he had this amazing genius master plan and he was very smart and confident and he won pretty much. That was another great villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That Watchmen kind of bored me.
Oh, did you read the comic?
No, I haven't read the comic yet.
Oh, well, there you go.
Maybe it'll become available when the DC Universe service gets on starts up.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah.
I think that's the best-selling comic book of all time.
Yeah, I need to get my hands on it at some point.
It's brilliant. You can read it 20 times and still pick up new things. Mm-hmm. There's just so much level of detail in the shot composition and the dialogue. It's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, I just think we're living in an age where we have real life villains out there, and I'm not going to mention any names, but because we live in a very divided society right now, and the way social media has gone and communications generally has gone, it's so easy just to throw mud at people. Yeah. And because of real life, the stakes are so high. That's what scares the bejesus out of me.
Right.
So you're saying the ultimate evil is Twitter?
Well, Twitter
Yes,
it's
that's
just an
exactly
enabler.
what we're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is an enabler.
Yeah. So, would Darth Vader be good on Twitter? Probably not.
No.
The Emperor? Yes.
Depressed Darth Vader is funny though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that an actual Twitter account?
It's a parody account, yes.
Okay, because I know emo Kylo Ren is hilarious.
Yeah, emo Kylo Ren is hilarious. As is drunk Hulk when he decides to surface.
Was that Drunk Hulk?
Yes, drunk Hulk.
H-U-L-K? Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Oh yeah, he's fun.
Ooh.
He basically says everything in all caps. He's basically, it's Hulk, but he's drunk and he's yelling. It's great.
That's lovely. Yes. Well, I really need to go back to bed and try to get over my hangover, so let's close this down, shall we?
Sure.
Yes, as I'm making a last call, folks, please follow our Twitter address because you just heard how good Twitter is as a social media tool. We're at SciFi Pubcast. And follow our network Twitter address, which is at Nerds Attack Pods. Like us on Facebook. Derek does the Facebook. I do the Twitter. Yes, it's confusing at times.
I just show up.
Yeah.
It's just funny because I'm the younger one, and yet I'm on the old people platform.
Yeah, there's that.
Boy.
Yes. Leave us an Apple podcast review. Please don't judge this show because I'm really hungover and we're just doing the show because we love the stuff. It's a passion project. And if you leave a positive Apple podcast review, I will send you stickers. So you can send us an email with your address at management@scifipubcast.space. Carrie, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's Keri Blackfire42.
Derek?
I am at Derek J. Beebe.
And I'm at Joel_Welch. Yes, common spelling, like the grape juice. And that's about it, guys. Thank you for showing up. We will open again soon after I get back from even more traveling. Please make it home safe. We'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Drew M. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.